Trump signed an executive order that quietly starts replacing how 56 million Americans are supposed to retire. Most people scroll right past it. But as a wealth manager who tracks exactly these kinds of political shifts, this one matters in every real way for your retirement timeline. It's called the Trump IRA, and it goes live January 1st, 2027. And if you're one of the 56 million Americans who have never had access to tax-advantaged retirement accounts, or if you're one of the millions more who have a 401k quietly charging you fees that are draining your account every single year, this changes your situation. And if you're thinking, well, executive orders, they don't really affect me personally. Well, this one does, because it creates a government-vetted retirement account marketplace with a fee cap that could save you up to $40,000 over your investing lifetime. And I'm here to tell you that fees matter. And make sure you stick around to the end, because the accounts that Trump's platform will eventually list already exist today. Today, I'm walking you through exactly what changed, who it affects, and most importantly, what you need to do right now before the rest of America figures this out. And it connects qualifying Americans to a government match that most people have never been able to access. And you don't need to wait for a government website to start taking advantage of them right now. Welcome to Financial Freedom Fast Lane. Remember, the quicker you get to your dream life, the longer you get to live it. I'm your host, George Achenpong. I've been helping my clients for the past decade and a half build more wealth. And in the last 12 months, my clients have improved their collective net worth by over $244 million. Before we talk about what's new, let's talk about what's broken. Because the reason this executive order matters is that the current retirement system has been failing tens of millions of Americans for decades. Let me explain. Think about what a 401k actually requires. It requires you to work for a company that decided to actually offer one. You don't get to choose it. You don't get to shop for it. Your employer picks the plan, picks the funds, picks the fees, and you get whatever they decided. Now, here's the problem. 50 million workers have employers who decided nothing. Contractors, part-timers, gig workers, small business employees, 56 million people who go to work every day and come home with zero access to tax-advantaged retirement accounts. That number is confirmed by both AARP and the Pew Charitable Trust. But here's the thing, it actually gets worse. For the people who do have 401ks, the average plan in 2025 was charging fees of 1.26% according to Kiplinger. That's more than a full percentage point every single year, quietly draining your account and going into the hands of the money managers who run the plan. Most people in 401ks have never looked up their expense ratio on their funds, and most of them are paying far more than they should. Now, here's what it actually costs. On $100,000 invested over 20 years at 7% annualized returns, the gap between 1.26% in fees and 0.15% in fees is roughly $40,000. That is a car. For some people, that might be almost a full year of retirement income. And this is money that was supposed to be yours walking out the door every year you pay for someone else's bonus. The 401k was built for a labor market that no longer exists. Full-time employees with stable employers who stayed for decades. The workforce has changed completely. The retirement system largely hasn't. And that gap has been leaving tens of millions of Americans behind in silence. Now that you understand the problem that the current system creates, the next section breaks down exactly what Trump signed and how the new structure actually works. On April 30th, Trump signed an executive order creating TrumpIRA.gov, a comparison marketplace for retirement accounts. Here's exactly what it is and what it isn't. TrumpIRA.gov is essentially a government-vetted retirement account shopping portal. You go to the website, you browse private sector IRA options that have been pre-vetted by the Treasury Department, and then you enroll. The accounts are held by privately held financial institutions like Vanguard, Fidelity, not the government. As a matter of fact, maybe we should get listed on the marketplace as well so you guys can invest with our 401k plan. But that's another story for another day. Ultimately, though, the government sets the rules for who gets listed on the platform, and those rules include one critical requirement. Any account listed on the platform has to carry a fee cap of 0.15% or lower. Remember, the average 401k fee charges 1.26%. The Trump IRA platform will only list accounts at 0.15% or below. That's where Vanguard's index funds already live. That's where Fidelity's index funds already are. These options have existed for years, but most people in expensive 401k plans have never been pointed towards them because nobody built the comparison tool. And instead, they wanted to rob you blind in fees so that they could pad their pockets. Nobody showed you the fees and what they cost over your lifetime. That's what this website is designed to do. And here's what makes it genuinely different from a traditional 401k. There's no minimum contribution required. You can open up an account for just $5, and it's not even tied to your employer. It's yours fully, whether you stay at your job or leave tomorrow. Portable in a way 401ks have never been. Now, the Trump IRA is not replacing your existing 401k if you have a good one. It's creating access for the 56 million Americans who have had no alternatives. Now that you understand what the Trump IRA is, now we want to explain the government match program that comes with it and why this version actually works when the previous version failed almost completely. The executive order connects these accounts to something called the Savers Match, and understanding the difference between this and what came before it explains why this is actually a significant change. Here's how the Savers Match works. You contribute money to a qualifying retirement account, and the federal government matches 50 cents for every dollar up to $1,000 per year. To get the full match, you need to contribute $2,000. Single filers earning under $20,500 get the full match. It phases out at $35,500. Married couples filing jointly get the full match up to $41,000 in household income, phasing out at $71,000. Approximately 22 million Americans right now would qualify for this. Now, here's a critical distinction. The Savers Match was already law. It passed in 2022 as a part of a bipartisan bill called Secure 2.0. What this executive order does is direct the Treasury Department to actually implement it and build the infrastructure to connect the 22 million people who qualify to the accounts they can actually use. Before this, there was something called the Savers Credit. The same idea on paper, but totally different in reality. It was a non-refundable tax credit, meaning you only got the value if you owe federal taxes. But most low-income workers, it was designed to help them owe little to nothing. So for years, the credit delivered essentially nothing to the exact people it was designed for. The Savers Match fixes that fundamental flaw. The government's contribution goes directly into the retirement account, not on a tax form, into the account. That distinction is everything. This isn't a political story. It's a math story. A government match up to $1,000 per year going directly into low-fee index funds for 20 or 30 years is a retirement outcome that didn't exist before for millions of Americans. And for the people who do qualify, every year you're not contributing is a year you're leaving behind $1,000 on the table. Now that you understand both the platform and the match, it's time for us to get into the most important part, because none of this is even live yet. And the people who act now will be best positioned. Real quick, guys, if you want to go deeper on exactly how to optimize your retirement accounts, reduce your tax bill, and build real wealth strategy around changes like this one, me and Carter are hosting our Multiply Your Money Wealth Workshop. This is a multi-day live event that's virtual where we break down all the advantages that you can take advantage of when it comes to tax savings and investment strategies that the top 1% are using to build and protect their wealth. We answer personal finance questions. We show you exactly how to apply these strategies to your specific situation. And honestly, the link to grab your spot is in the description. Don't miss it. Now, here's exactly what to do right now before 2027. All right, here's where we take action, because TrumpIRA.gov does not exist yet. The Savers Match doesn't start until January 2027. And if you're waiting for this to show up in your account before you do anything, you're going to wait, forget, and watch 2027 come and go without taking a single step. So here's 3 moves you can make right now. Move 1. If you don't have a retirement account, open one up this week. Not when TrumpIRA.gov launches. Not when you feel more ready. Fidelity has 0 account minimums. You can open up a Roth IRA with $1 and set up small automatic monthly contributions. It takes about 20 minutes. And the accounts that Trump's platform will eventually list are the same accounts that already exist at Fidelity and Vanguard today. You don't need a government website to access them. The government website just makes it easier to find them and be able to compare. So start now. Move 2. If you think you qualify for the Savers Match, start building towards that $2,000 right now. Single filers under $35,500 or married filing jointly under $71,000, that's your threshold. $2,000 a year is $167 per month. Start building that habit now, because in 2027, there's $1,000 sitting on the table for you every year that you qualify. But the only way that you'll collect is if you're already contributing when the match goes live. Build the habit now and be set up when January 2027 arrives. Move 3. If you have a 401k, go look at your expense ratios right now. Log into your account, find every fund you invested in, find the column that says expense ratios. If anything is above 0.5%, You are paying a fee that is quietly compounding against you for decades. And most 401k plans have low-cost index fund options sitting right next to the expensive ones. Nobody sent you an email telling you to pick them. Now you know, go make the switch. The fee difference alone is worth taking it seriously. The gap between 1.26% and 0.15% on $100,000 over 20 years is $40,000. That's not a rounding error. That's a real number that represents real money that either stays in your retirement account or quietly walks out the door to a fund manager. You decide which one. The 401k was built for the workforce that no longer exists. That doesn't fix everything. An executive order can't force employers to offer retirement plans to expand income thresholds without congressional action. But for 56 million Americans who had nothing, this is a real open door. And for everyone else, the fee transparency and low-cost account access this platform creates is genuinely valuable. The question is whether you act on it before or after everyone else does. If this video helped you understand what's coming and what to do about it, hit that like button and subscribe. We break down exactly these kinds of policy and investment changes every single week on Financial Freedom Fastlane, so you always know where the opportunity lies and how to get ahead of the opportunity before the crowd is there. And if you want to build a complete retirement and tax strategy around changes like this, grab your spot at our Multiply Your Money Wealth Workshop. The link is in the description. Me and Carter will see you there. Freedom is for sale if you're willing to pay the price. See you on the next episode. Peace.